assessment. We give exams to students to find out how much they have learned. So we don't examine students because we hate them. But as a matter of fact, you examine students because they are about to be promoted. When we are all in the class, we are all sitting down, the teacher is teaching, we are all saying, yes sir, yes sir. There must be a way of finding out how much you have really learned. And we only get that one through examination. Every faith must be tested. God must find out, do you really know I exist? Do you really believe that my word is forever set true? I mean, Genesis 22 is a very classical example. Genesis 22, verse 1, let's take it to verse 16. We'll refer to it again and again. It said, God tested Abraham. I said, Abraham, he said, here, take your son Isaac, your only son Isaac, whom thou lovest. Now, Abraham had two sons. But as far as Abraham was concerned, really, Isaac is the son. Because he's the son of the beloved wife. The other fellow came through some manipulations. And God, who knows all things, knows that this is his son Abraham loved. God said, let's find out. Who do you love more? Me or your son? In Job chapter 1, verse 1 to 12, Job 1, verse 1 to 12, the only reason Job got into trouble is because God said, I know him. He's a righteous man. He won't deny me. I am sure of that boy. Satan said, let's find out. Give him a test. And do you think he loves you for nothing? You cross back him, you bleed a hair, you round about it. Even me, the devil, you put me in that situation, I will love you now. Remove the edge, remove the wealth. It will cause you to your face. You'll say, all right, you want us to find out? Let's find out. But keep him alive so that we can see the result of the exam. There are degrees of exams. You don't ask, what do you call it here? Is it primary? Primary school? Grade school. I think Canada calls it primary. They are more British than. You don't give primary school students the same exam as you give to somebody in the university. What do you want to? What are you testing? You have not taught him. You can't ask me to answer questions when you have not taught me the subject. So, in Job chapter 1, Job was given basic trial. He lost his wealth, he lost his children, and then the devil said, let's move to grade 2. Job chapter 2, verse 1 to 10. Job 2, 1 to 10, the devil said, hey, skin for skin. A man would give anything to save his skin. Let's get real close to him now. Sons are dead, wealth gone, no problem. Let himself now. Give him some pay, let's see. In Exodus 17, verse 1 to 6, Exodus 17, verse 1 to 6, God wanted to find out, Moses, how much do you know now? How much do you know? How much trust do you have in me? These people wanted to drink water. Here is a rock. Go and smite it with your rod. Of course, I'll use this rod that turned water to blood. This rod has opened the Red Sea. If you can open the Red Sea, you should be able to open water out of the rock. So he went and hit the rock, and water came. By the time we got to Numbers 20, verse 1 to 8, Numbers 20, verse 1 to 8, now God said, let's take the trust away from the rod now. Let the trust be only in me. Speak to the rock. Why was God angry with Moses? He said, didn't glorify me before the people. You glorify the rod. You have taken attention away from me and diverted it to the rod. I said, speak, not smite. So there are degrees of exams. Basic, advanced, college or university, one, master's, PhD. Oh my. Now there are some areas where trials must come. I won't be able to give you all the areas, but probably if you sit down and study the Ten Commandments, you'll be able to get the others. God is going to find out from you sooner or later whether you believe him when he says, thou shalt have no other gods beside me. If you read Genesis chapter 22, you read it from verse 1 to 16, for example. God said to Abraham, Genesis 22, verse 1 to 16, because you have done this, because you did not withhold your son Isaac, whom thou loved from me, and now I know you have proved to me that if you have to choose between God and your son, you will choose God. He said, I know that your son is no other God beside me. Another area where there will be trials is in the area of covetousness. He said, thou shalt not covet. You shall not covet your neighbor's goods, your neighbor's wife, etc. You must not covet. Genesis 14, verse 21 to 24. Genesis 14, 21 to 24. Abraham was tempted in that area. He's just gone to rescue his brother Lot, and they brought in a lot of goods. And so the king of Sodom said, no, thank you. Just give me my people that you have rescued. Take the goods. After all, they were already gone before you. Abraham said, I'm not interested in your goods. Take your things. Thank God he passed. 2 Kings chapter 5, verse 15 to 19. 2 Kings 5, 15 to 19. After Naaman was healed, he returned to Elisha and said, here is money. And believe me honestly, Naaman brought money, real money. If you get Bible scholars to calculate to you what he brought, we are talking of at least $100 million. Elisha said, thank you. I don't want. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife. 2 Samuel 11. 2 Samuel 11. You know what happened? David saw a beautiful woman bathing. He asked, who is this woman? He said, she is married. That should have been the end of the story. But me, I'm king. How can an ordinary soldier have somebody this beautiful? That's where the problem started. Covetousness will be tested. Many ministers get into trouble because they want to be like Pastor so-and-so. If God doesn't bless you the way He's blessing Pastor so-and-so, be satisfied with what God has done for you. After all, you don't even know. You don't know the value of Pastor so-and-so to God. I don't mind throwing this one in for free. I heard it from a man of God sometimes. He said he went to buy a dog. And he got to where they were selling dogs. And he saw 2 dogs, the same size, the same age, beautiful things. They asked for their prices. They said one is $10,000. What? I said, yes. What about this one? They said $250. These dogs look alike. The same age, the same size. The one selling dog says, they want, that's $10,000. We'll do anything you tell it to do. Anywhere you send it, it will go. You can lead a blind man from the house to the shopping mall. All the fellow needs to tell the dog is, I want milk. He will lead him to where they are selling milk. I want this. The dog is 100% trained, 100% obedient. This one for $250. He does exactly as he wants to. You ask him to sit down and look at you and say, who are you talking to? And then he made a point that shook me. Your value to God is determined by your level of obedience. So what kind of Christian are you? $250 Christian or $10,000 Christian? Daniel 5, verse 1 to 17. Had another exam. Man saw the handwriting on the wall and they called him in and they said, the king said, Father, but it is the Spirit of God that is in you, etc., etc. Tell me the dream and I will make you stinkingly rich. He said, hey, keep your word, but I will give you the interpretation. And finally, go to Daniel chapter 6. You know the story. You pray to God, you will go to the den of lions. Why are you slowing down? Increase the number of lions. 100% for him. 100% I am for God. Living, dying, outside the lion's den, inside the lion's den, I'm 100% for him. He never had another exam. All those who were troubling him were finished in one day. But there's nothing more you can do to somebody who says, I'm ready to die for God. Not just say by word of mouth, or mean it because God looks into the heart. The Bible says in Matthew 5:14, be therefore perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect. If you still have a problem with anger, get ready. A test is coming along that line. If you still have a problem with immorality, get ready. The test is coming. The test is coming. If you still have problem with money, the test is coming. Somebody once said that any man will steal if the money is big enough and if there is absolute proof that he will not be detected. I said, that is not true. He said, you don't know what you are talking about. I said, that's not true. When I was a baby, a young child, going to primary school, my mother was this local cooperative collector of Ajo, Susu, or whatever. He will put the money, not how much, 3 pence, under the mat. We sleep on it. Spread the mat on the money and we sleep on it. Because they drove it deep into each and every one of us. You don't steal. You don't steal. We slept on that money for years. Not one penny was lost. And there will be many. I mean, the mat will be about the size of this carpet. Every bit under it is this. Those of you will remember the 3 pence, those of you who are old enough. Coins. There's no way she could know that 1 or 2 is missing by just glancing. And never was one lost. So I cannot now grow up under that something, and you tell me if the money is big enough. God won't test you in an area where he knows you can't fail. So if your problem is with the opposite sex, get ready. If your problem is impatience, get ready. If your problem is anger, get ready. If your problem is insubordination, get ready. That you can make up your mind today. Because you know yourself more than anyone else does. I mean, the only fellow who really knows you, the only 2 of them, you and God. So you know the area of weakness. You can put an end to trials today by making sure that area is settled once and for all. And then call on God for help. I've given the example before when I talk about being holy. And some people say, a man came to me and said, Daddy, sir, you know the problem we're having? It's not so much us, it's the girls. The one causing the trouble. Most of the time they are dressed in a manner that you don't have to look before you see. I said to them, suppose you go to the dining table, see beautiful dishes, and they say, go and eat. And you get to the table, and you open the dish, and you see maggots. You open another dish, you see excreta. Will you say because the dishes are beautiful, I will eat? They said no. Why not? No, I mean, that's a no. That's all. Now, make fornication no. Make adultery no. Once you make it no, no, it becomes no, no. So let's go to God.
Above all powers, above all kings, above all nature and all created things, above all wisdom and all the ways of man, you were here before the world began. Above all kingdoms, above all thrones, above all wonders the world has ever known, above all wealth and treasures of the earth, there's no way to measure what you're worth. Crucified and laid behind a stone, you lived to die, rejected and alone, like a rose trampled on the ground. You took the fall and thought of me above all. Above all powers, above all kings, above all nature and all created things, above all wisdom and all the ways of man, you were here before the world began. Above all kingdoms, above all thrones, above all wonders the world has ever known, above all wealth and treasures of the earth, there's no way to measure what you're worth. Crucified and laid behind a stone, you lived to die, rejected and alone, like a rose trampled on the ground. You took the fall and thought of me above all. Oh, you were crucified and laid behind a stone. You lived to die, rejected and alone, like a rose trampled on the ground. You took the fall, thought of me above all, and like a rose trampled on the ground, you took the fall and thought of me